Hi everyone, I'm Adam Thurgood of Hightower, Las Vegas. Welcome to our next edition of the Community Spotlight Series. Today we have a real treat with Michelle Jackson here in the studio. She's been a good friend of mine for a long period of time, and I'm excited to get into it with you today.
Thanks for having me, Adam.
Now, I've been involved in junior achievement in some form or fashion for quite some time. I served on the board for 9 years and termed out a few years ago. And I have a pretty good understanding of what's going on at JA. And they've been doing great things in the community for a long time, since they started in the late 90s. However, what's coming this fall is really exciting. It's perhaps one of the more exciting things that's happened in all of the nonprofit space in Las Vegas in quite some time. So we're going to get into that. But first, Michelle, why don't you give us the short and sweet version of what the organization's all about?
Sure. So Junior Achievement was started over 100 years ago. It's a national organization. So we have 102 offices here in the United States. And we reach about 5 million students here in the United States every year. We focus on teaching kids in 3 areas. It's financial literacy, workforce readiness, and entrepreneurship skills. So we're really trying to equip them with all of the skills that they need to grow up and become adults that know who they want to be and how to get there, and then how do they manage their money, how do they invest their money, how do they generate wealth. So it's really about empowering these kids with the tools at a young enough age to make great decisions for themselves and their futures.
And the way junior achievement works is through the school district mainly.
Yes.
And I keep saying we like I'm still on the board. Junior achievement works with the school district and specific schools to have curriculum delivered that supplements what's already being delivered by the Clark County School District. And what I found really impactful during my time is how it's not just complementary. There's a big missing gap in terms of financial literacy and entrepreneurship, workforce readiness type of education that's being delivered by teachers, which is really kind of a shame in a lot of respects, because once you leave the nest, you're on your own, and you really need to know how those types of things work to have a decent shot at being successful.
Absolutely. Well, and our partnerships in the community with other businesses and industries really allow us to support our teachers, because they're teachers. They haven't necessarily worked in the mining industry or the banking industry. There's by working with professionals that come into the classroom and talk firsthand about their experiences and what it's like to work in those industries. That really makes a difference, and it doesn't put that load on the teachers to try to fabricate or explain something that they themselves haven't even experienced. So it's really impactful for the students to hear it firsthand.
So let's run through an example of let's say a JA in classroom experience. Someone like me from the business community comes in, and what do we do?
So for you, Adam, I would ask you to teach something to do with financial literacy, because I know that's definitely in your wheelhouse. So we do try to, as much as we can, kind of pair the volunteer with the program. But you would go through a very short training, a background check, and then we set you up to go into the classroom, and you're going to visit that classroom. If it's elementary, you're going to probably be there for 1 day, and you're going to teach all 5 lessons that are going to be covered in that grade level. In the grade level for elementary, they're going to learn kind of about all of those 3 areas: the financial lit, the entrepreneurship, the workforce readiness. They're kind of nice taste of each one of those categories. But then in middle and high school programming, we really dial it into specifically around financial literacy. So for example, we have a class called Personal Finance. We have a program called JA Finance Park. Those are all about that financial literacy side, whereas we have ones that are called It's My Future, that's going to focus on that workforce readiness and really being prepared to enter the job market and understand the expectations. So that's really the difference. And as a volunteer in middle and high school, you're going to go into that same classroom multiple times as you teach those different lessons to the kids.
And you don't have to create the lessons. The lessons
No.
are provided for you. You just have to work through the workbook that JA provides, which has a bunch of fun activities and so on and so forth, right?
Absolutely. So what's really fun about Junior Achievement is all of our programs, the volunteer will teach a concept, so say profit and loss, income and expenses, and then you're going to play a game with the kids where they get to see profit and loss and income and expenses in action. So it's less arbitrary. It's more tangible to them to understand those concepts because they get to turn around right after they've learned what it is and put it into action.
And so that's the typical classroom experience. But Junior Achievement also does job shadow programs
Yes.
that are highly impactful to the kids that get to participate in that. Why don't you give us a little more detail on what happens there?
Sure. So with our job shadow program, we tend to partner with maybe one or two businesses that have expressed an interest in having several students come on site. They'll have 2 lessons that occur in the classroom that are actually led by their teacher that prepare them for that experience. So when they come on site to your facility or your business, they're really ready to ask the right questions. They're really ready to engage with the people that are employed there to learn more about that industry. And then after that, it really is kind of customized by the organization. So we talk to them about, what are your departments and what do you think is important to highlight for the students, for your business and industry? Because oftentimes job shadowing is a great way to inspire the next generation into your industry. And right now, I hear over and over from all of our partners nearly that everyone needs people. Everyone needs good, qualified people that are willing to work and want to join the industry that they're in. Some of them are even desperate for employees at this point.
Yeah. And the scope of Junior Achievement's programs hit a variety of different schools within the community. I know during my time on the board, a lot of those schools were low to moderate income schools where the kids were underprivileged from a financial standpoint. Is that still the case?
That is still the case. I would say on average about 80% of the students that we will reach with our programming are considered low income in Southern Nevada. We do work with charter schools and private schools and on occasion, but for sure, majority of our students and our schools have students that are coming from at-risk areas of our community.
And that makes a big difference to those types of kids. Vegas has some pretty atrocious high school graduation rate data. Is it still looking somewhere in that 30% range that don't graduate from high school?
So I would say overall, the numbers have improved, but where you don't see as much of improvement is when you dial it down by individual schools. So as a community overall, we've seen improvements, but we do have certain high schools within our community that unfortunately their percentage are even worse than the 30% that aren't graduating. So we still need, those schools in our at-risk areas still need a tremendous amount of support from the community, and that support comes in a lot of different ways. Some of it is programs like Junior Achievement, and of course other nonprofits in our community as well, and just our business community kind of wrapping their arms around, these are going to be either your employees of the future or
your customers and clients.
Or customers and clients of the future, or they might be problems of the future in our community. And so now's our opportunity to invest in them.
Yeah. And there have been studies on Junior Achievement's impact that have shown that kids that have multiple programs over their time in school, they tend to have higher graduation rates.
Yes, that's true. Our students, we have 93% of students that participate in Junior Achievement will graduate from high school.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the big, special, amazing things that are happening this fall. In 2010, when I joined the board, there was this big, ambitious plan to one day have our own facility like some of the other big markets in the U.S. that provides 2 really special programs. And basically, due to your leadership, that is now happening and it's launching this fall. And that really warms my heart and makes me very excited about what's to come, because it's not only great from Junior Achievement standpoint, but it really is another stamp on the city saying that we've arrived when we can compete with the San Diegos and the Orlandos and the big metropolitan areas that have one of these facilities. So give us some insight into what this is all about and why it's so special.
Well, I'm extremely excited because we will be opening our JA Inspiration Center to students on September 24th. We will be able to see about 84% of all fifth graders here in Southern Nevada every year. It's roughly 20,000 students a year coming to BizTown, and then another 20,000 students a year coming to another program called JA Finance Park. And again, that's roughly 84% of entire grade level of high school. So we are getting ready to just kind of expand, explode in a good way, going from serving around 20 to 25,000 students a year to increasing our numbers to 60,000 overall.
Wow.
In this community.
That's awesome. Now let's talk a little bit more about each program because they're a bit different. Let's start with BizTown,
Okay.
with the young kids. What's so cool about this program and how is it impactful?
So this program, the students have 12 lessons that are taught in the classroom. Those are led by their teacher. And they're going to do a few things before they come to BizTown in addition to those lessons. They're going to pick the top 3 jobs that they want to have, and we teach them how to dress up, shake somebody's hand, eye contact, and then they ultimately go through an interview process for the positions that they're interested in having. They also elect a mayor before they come. So the kids that want to run for the position of mayor have to write a speech, they've got a campaign.
It's amazing to see in action. It really is amazing.
It really is. They take total ownership over all of this. So, and then they all get to vote on who's going to be mayor. Yeah. So when they come to BizTown, BizTown looks like a mini city. So of the city that they're built in. So ours looks like a mini Southern Nevada, a mini Las Vegas. We have real businesses that represent actual industries here in our community. So we have Caesars, representing the hospitality industry. We have PNC Bank, which is our national bank partner, the City of Las Vegas for government. We have RSM, Tax and Auditing, representing the tax and auditing community, the Las Vegas Raiders for professional sports, Google, and Nevada Gold Mines, and several others that I haven't mentioned. But they arrive in BizTown, and it looks sort of like downtown Disney in a way. You walk into the space and you feel like you're in this little tiny town that's built kid size. Yeah. And the students go into the businesses where they know who they're going to be before they arrive because they've done their interviews, and they're going to run those businesses for the day. They're going to be the CEOs and the marketing managers and the chief financial officers and the geologist or the heavy equipment operator.
Or the news anchor for the
news anchor, yes. And they're going to get 3 breaks and 2 paychecks. When they're on their breaks, they become the consumers in the community, and they have the opportunity to buy different things or to play games or even buy a snack at the different businesses in BizTown. They're going to do business-to-business transactions with each other. Every business takes out a startup capital loan from one of the 2 banks. They've got to sell enough of their goods or services in order to try to pay that loan back, so that's kind of a team goal. Yeah. So BizTown is really heavily focused on the workforce readiness side and exposure to different industries and career paths. And the financial literacy side has to do with how the economy works and how businesses support different businesses, and we're all kind of part of this larger ecosystem of money. And so they walk away from the experience with having a much broader awareness of what's out there for them from the standpoint of careers and what they can dream about. They walk away with a better understanding of if they find something that they're interested in, how can I pursue that career? What can I do in middle school and high school to prepare myself to be on the right path to go into that industry that I think I really want to go into? Yeah.
I haven't had the chance to volunteer yet at BizTown, but I will definitely be doing that. And speaking of middle school, that's the other program for Finance Park. Now, I've volunteered many times for that. Super cool program. Give us the down low on what happens there.
Absolutely. So Finance Park, again, 12 lessons in the classroom, led by the teacher. It's all focused on personal finances. So they're going to learn about budgeting, credit scores, how to fill out FAFSA for student financial aid. They're going to learn about the different types of insurances that exist and how they play a role in our financial safety net. Yeah. And that all happens before they arrive at Finance Park. When they get to Finance Park, they become a grown-up for the day through a simulation where we assign them a persona of an age, a marital status. They might have children. They've got a credit score. They might have some debt assigned to their persona. And then they also have a job and how much they make a year and a month. And they are going to take all of that information and they're going to build a 1 month's balanced budget over 26 financial decisions. So everything you and I do every month, automotive, transportation, housing, groceries, dining out, entertainment, healthcare, and banking. They also have to apply for a mortgage and a transportation loan. If their credit score isn't where it needs to be, their debt to income ratio is off, all the things that matter in real life, they might not qualify for the house. If they don't qualify for the house, then they're going to have to rent. If they don't qualify for the vehicle, then they have to budget for a bus pass or they can buy a bicycle.
Yeah. Now, this program, I've seen it firsthand, the reaction that kids have when it's finished. And some of the comments range from, wow, I didn't know what my parents are dealing with on a day-to-day basis, to, I'm never having kids, they're so expensive. There are so many different nuances that they pick up from this experience. It's such a critical age when they're not yet adults, but they're starting to think about the future in certain ways. And this program has just tremendous impact.
It's definitely a light bulb moment for them.
Well, the facility itself is now constructed. You are in the facility with your offices, and the final touches are being put on the space itself. I think we have some pictures of the facility that we could throw up.
Awesome.
It has to be so exciting to be inside of the space and operating with such, which at one point was just a dream ambition.
It is. It's very exciting. We've had a lot of people along the road, people well before my time even with the organization, that were, bringing this together. And I'm very honored to have been allowed to be in this seat and to be part of kind of creating this legacy for our community. And so many other leaders that have served on the board and other just leaders and investors in the community that have had this on their heart to see this come to fruition. And it's amazing.
So if people want to check it out, come see the facility or get involved or volunteer, how will they do that?
So the best thing to do would be to reach out to us either over phone or through our website. So they can call. Our phone number is 702-214-0500. And then our website is jasnv.org. And those are the two easiest ways to get involved. Or if they know you, they can call you, Adam, and you can pass my number along to them. But we're always looking for volunteers, and just like all nonprofits, we always need that financial support as well. And we still have a handful of industries that aren't yet sponsored in BizTown, and a handful of budget categories that aren't yet sponsored in Finance Park. So if you really want to make an impact on our students in the community, and you want to get your brand in front of them for your industry, we have some amazing opportunities that you will be very, very happy that you decided to be involved.
Great. Well, thank you so much for coming in, Michelle. Like I said, I'm excited about it, and I can't wait to see it all come to fruition here in the next month or so.
Yeah, it's coming fast.
All right. Well, thanks again for joining us, and we will see you next time.